Insurance in some form is an old as historical society, so-called bottomary. Contrasts were known to merchants of Babylon as early as 4000 to 3000 BCE. Bottomary was also practiced by the Hindus in 600 BCE and was well understood in ancient Greece as early as the 4th century. Under a bottomary contract, loans were granted to merchants with the provision that if the shipment was lost at sea, the loan did not have to be repaid. The interest on the loan covered the insurance risk. Ancient Roman law recognized the bottomary contract in which an article of agreement was drawn up and funds were deposited with money changer. Marine insurance became highly developed in the 15th century. In Rome, there were also burial societies that paid funeral costs of their members out of monthly dues. The insurance contract also developed early. It was known the ancient Greece and among other maritime nations in commercial contact with Greece. In England, fire insurance arose much later, obtaining impetus from the Great Fire of London in 1666. A number of insurance companies were started in England after 1711 during the so-called bubble era. Many of them were fraudulent get-rich-quick schemes concerned mainly with selling their security to the public. Nevertheless, two important and successful English insurance companies were formed during this period: the London Insurance Corporation and the Royal Exchange Assurance Corporation. Their operation marked the beginning of the modern property and liability of insurance. No discussion of the early development of insurance in Europe would be complete without reference to Lloyd's of London's the international insurance market. It began in 17th century as a coffee house patronized by merchant bankers and insurance underwriter, gradually becoming recognized as the most likely place to find underwrite for marine insurance. Edward Lloyd supplied his customer with shipping information gathered from the dock and other sources. This eventually grew into publication. Lloyd is still in existence. Lloyd was recognized in 1769 as formal group of underwriter accepting marine risk. The word underwriter is said to have derived from the practice of having each risk taker write his name under the total amount of risk that he was willing to accept at a specific premium. With the growth of British sea power, Lloyd became the dominant insurance of marine risk to were to which were later added fire and other property risks. Today, Lloyd is a major reinsurer as well as primary insurer, but it does not itself transact insurance business. This is done by the member underwriter who accept insurance on their own amount account and bear the full risk in competition with others. In United States, the first American insurance company was recognized by Benjamin Franklin in 1752 as the Philadelphia Contribution Ship. The first life insurance company in the American colonies were Presbyterian Minister Fund, organized in 1759. By 1820, there were 17 stock life insurance companies in the state of New York alone. Many of the early property insurance companies failed from speculative investment, poor management, and inadequate distribution system. Others failed after the Great Chicago Fire in 1871 and the San Francisco earthquake and the fire of 1906. There was little effective regulation and rate making was difficult. In the absence of cooperative development of sound statistics, many problems also beset the life insurance business. In the era following the US Civil War, bad practice developed. Dividends were declared that had not been earned, reserved, and were inadequate. Advertising claims were exaggerated, and office buildings were erected that sometimes cost more than the total assets to the company. 33 life insurance companies failed between 1870 to 1872 and other 1448 between 1873 to 1877. After 1910, life insurance enjoyed a steady growth in United States. The annual growth rate of insurance is forced over the period 1910-90 was approximately 8.4%, accounting to 6 to 6-fold increase the 80-year period. Probability property liability insurance had a somewhat smaller increase. By 1889, some 3,800 property liable and 2,200 to 70 life insurance companies were in business, involved employing nearly 2 million workers. In 1987, US insurance wrote about 37% of the all premium collected worldwide. So that is the our topic today. In the next video we will discuss about some kinds of insurance.